Welcome back, family. Magituru Mzari.
Magituru Adam.
And this is PVTV. I know you guys have missed me. Adam's been kind of taking over the channel. I've been just behind the scenes. But we do homeschool our kids as well. So I've been busy homeschooling.
Besides the holiday season.
Yeah, trying to have my own little side hustle or like passion hustle, I guess, versus the main thing that we are focusing on here in Gambia, which is building tiny homes. Today's video, though, is something that we think is very important throughout the time that we've been here. So we've only been here a year and some months.
2 months.
Yeah, so far. So yay to that.
Oh yeah, it's been a journey.
It's been a beautiful journey, but with every journey you're gonna have ups and you're gonna have downs. So you just have to figure out how to work through those challenges. And we want to speak in particular about business. When you're coming here for business, what to consider when doing business in Gambia.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things to consider when doing business anywhere, whether it's America, UK, Australia, wherever you are. And one of the most important things to consider is your passion, right? You want to do something that you really love, or do something that you know will not hurt you or you feel stressed about until the end of your time. So you want to do something that you love. Like whenever you hear about a teacher, you want the teacher to love teaching. That way the kids get the best experience. So not only doing something that you love helps you, but it helps your product, it helps other people as you do the thing that you have a passion for. So when you come here to the Gambia or anywhere, make sure that you have that in mind, because we see a lot of people, they get into businesses or they might start a business, but it's not exactly what they wanted to do. And they say in their mind, okay, I'll do this for a little bit and then I'll work my way up to be able to do what I really want to do. But that whole time you're going through the same stresses, you're going to go through the same struggles as if you jumped in and tried to do what you were passionate about to begin with. So definitely, you don't want to waste time. And a lot of us come here, or a lot of us repatriate as diasporans, we repatriate at our older age. So we don't have a lot of time. We don't have time to make risks and do those things like that, or we don't feel like we do. So definitely, even if you're older coming over here, make sure the business that you're getting into, you're passionate about.
Yeah. Passion is definitely the top tier of all the things that you need to consider when moving in general, but when starting a business, a new business or fresh business in that place that you're going to, or even where you are now. Just something new. Make sure it's something that you care about, because oftentimes we will start, like my husband was saying, things that we think we really want to do, or we might even have, because a lot of us are fast lit and burn out quick. So we get really passionate about something, we dive into it, we do research into it, but it only lasts for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. It's not something that you can keep up with, because the flame goes out, the discipline goes away, and then now we're back at square one thinking, well, what do I want to do with my life?
Exactly. And another thing we have to consider is a lot of us come from places or grow up in environments where passion is not something that is grown. Passion is not something that the next person, your friend or your family members, are helping you with. You say you want to be an artist, you say you want to be a musician, you say you want to be some of these things that you don't see often just walking around, and they say, oh, you can't do that. You can't be that person. And so a lot of us don't have those passions, and we got to grow those passions. But also when we think about it, it's not just one thing. Your passions, you can have multiple passions. It's not just one thing you hone in on and say, okay, this is what I'm going to make a business about. You want to have, like my wife said, you want to do your research, but have a multitude of things to go off of, so you're not just making one choice and you're constrained to that one choice, and now you might make some issues. You might have some issues with your business. So another thing, right, because passion leads into what are you doing it for, okay? And when you get to a certain country, wherever you are, they have struggles there. They have problems there, whether it's a developing country or not. So what are you getting into it for? Are you getting into it for your own personal gain, for your family's gain? Are you getting into it to actually help the community or help your community that's actually in that area as well, because there's a lot of us who come here and we don't have any type of presence here. Like in Ghana, no visa, you can vote. They have different departments for diasporans and things of that nature. But it's not just because the Ghanaian, the country itself has a certain level of money. It's also about the influence that the diasporans are bringing to the country. And the country is seeing that because of the business that the diasporans are bringing. They're passionate about those businesses, but we need to get into businesses that are more influential in the Gambian society, basically. And so being passionate about that, being passionate about the community, being passionate about connecting with the locals, being passionate about integrating with business, these are things that's going to take you much farther when you're thinking about business ideas in the Gambia.
All right. Yeah, I think the next topic that we can kind of jump to is understanding the market.
That's a good one.
Understanding your market or creating your own lane. Whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever it is that you're going to start to do business in, make sure that before you really start offering the service to other people, you have done something towards that. You have started to talk to people here that's also in that field. You start to do, maybe even go on Facebook pages and see how other people are, or what other people are experiencing that's in your field, whether you're like doing Airbnb, building a hotel, trying to do something bigger as well. So I want to just, oh my God, but basically understanding the market, do your research.
And what she's saying is absolutely true. Your due diligence is everything. Making sure that you really do your research, take your time, you go back over it is important. Before we ever signed a contract with anyone, we had already started on our own project. We had already started working, building a home, the 8x8 meter home, the series that we have. That was our first project, our first tiny house build. So before we ever signed a contract with anyone.
Which that is not finished, you guys, so just keep on lookout for the rest of the videos.
Yes, after this video, I'll drop the next video for that part. And we've been a little bit slow on our video drops, but I already have like 3 more videos ready for that one.
Right.
And they're gonna all have reviews, so that's 6 more videos coming. So don't worry, guys, it's coming for sure. But like I was saying though, we started that project before we ever signed a contract, just to get experience, just to know some of the laborers, know some of the plumbers, know some of the electricians, the carpenters, the iron benders, the masons, everything that goes into building a home. So we have that experience. So you want to have some type of experience in what you're going into for sure, not just to be a passion. You might say, oh, I love to listen to music. I love to listen to music so much. And then you come here and be like, oh, I want to open up a studio. It's 2 different things. You have to really have experience in that if you want to really go into that. It's not 2 separate things that go hand in hand. So anytime that you're coming here and you're saying, like she was saying initially, you want to fill out the market. Anytime that you come here and you want to fill out the market, make sure that you at least get into that market first.
Yeah. And I think another big thing for understanding the market is understanding your labor force, understanding what minimum wage is, understanding if whatever business it is that you're trying to do, initially you'll be able to give them an increased pay, or if you have to meet them at the minimum wage, or if you can even maybe double what people usually make here. Just think about those things, and then think about experience, education. How are you going to filter through the people? Because right now, and I think there's so many videos, so I don't even want to just talk about it too much because it will turn into like shame or bashing Gambians. But so many people do have labor issues. We are not, we've been victim to that as well. So with having labor issues, it can really hurt your business. And it could put you at square one, not totally destroy whatever you have going on, but you might have to now train a whole new set of people, right? A whole new waiters, new cooks, new everything. So you just got to consider the labor force. Mm-hmm. How are you going to filter through your labor force? What is going to qualify a person? And are you going to have any programs to help them get to that level? Because everybody's not going to be able to meet you.
Yes.
You know what?
No, you're saying this right. I was just saying.
Yeah, everybody's not going to be able to meet you at a certain standard that we're expecting, which a lot of expectations are good, and then expectations can also be bad. So you just got to be careful with that, and really, really, really sit down with yourself, write something solid out on how you're going to filter your labor.
And definitely, like she said, write something out, have rules and stipulations behind them if those rules are not followed, because that's very important. You want to have a good structure for your labor force. But also there's things to consider too, things that people might not think about, right? And these are things that if you come from UK, America, these other places that they have built into the company structure, like for instance, family. Having family working together might cause a certain dynamic. They might be not working as hard. They might not work as hard as they should work, or they might do things better, or they might do things worse. Also, you want to consider that internally in your business, your labor force is your company owned. So anything that happens in your business, because it's like a family, it's separate from your family. Business and family is separate, but your business culture could become a family type culture where you have your own principles and your own things going on. But that needs to stay within your business. Whatever your client does, whatever other businesses do, does not affect your workers. You are the one that's in control of your workers' pay. You're in control of your workers, what time they show up, all of that. That's not subject to anybody else. So you have to be really strict on how you run your business, because you don't want anybody else to be able to come in and say, oh, well, I want you to hire this person, or I want your hours to be this, or you got to remember, at the end of the day, in your business, you have to control your labor force. Right? If anything happens to your labor force, someone gets injured on the job, if you have it in your contract, you're the one that's going to be helping paying that health bill for your laborer. And even in most cases here, if your laborer gets hurt on the job, they expect you to help. They expect you to take them to the hospital, pay for them. So there's things like that you have to consider, that your labor force, it can become a family, and it is a good thing if they become like family, but you want to make sure you keep those rules and organizational structure in place.
Yeah, definitely. I think that kind of goes into our next point, which is the legal framework of Gambia. Just to keep with the thought process of our labor force, and when you think about the legal system as well, you want to consider how are you going to keep up with your labor. Like, are you going to actually have them work for your business? Are they going to be contractors? Are you going to be sourcing them out from because believe it or not, they have businesses here, or I guess organizations here, that will give you employees.
Yeah, they do.
So is that the route that you're going to take? So you just need to think about that, because that'll wrap back into like your accounting and what you have to keep record of. So that's
exactly. You want to definitely make sure you keep good accounting. That's everything. And we've been saved by many situations in the past before we ever got here in America by having good accounting. And Mzadi, she's the organizer. She's the one that makes sure we got our books right, our receipts, our stuff up to the individual date of what's going on, what's happening, who we worked with. So you want to have your books correct always, because you never know. And you want to make sure that you keep as much vocal records, text records, everything when it comes to your business. Paper trail, paper trail, paper trail. That's everything. So when it comes to the legal framework here in the Gambia, a lot of times they operate when you're doing business dealings and you're doing contract signings and stuff like that to have a witness. They want you to have at least 2 witnesses there most times. And then, of course, if you have your own audio or written agreement, things of that nature, that holds up as well in court. Now, besides that, of course, you need to have your contracts and your contract well spelled out with protections for you and protections for your clients. And the businesses that don't have protections for their clients, that's the business that you don't want to work with. That's a business that you know that if anything, the slightest little thing happens, they might just run away with your money. So be very careful with your contract framework. Make sure you have your lawyer, paid and ready to go. Make sure you have all your bookings ready to go. Make sure you have your witnesses when you need them, or recordings when you need them. Make sure you have all of that stuff. Get to know, become an area council. Get to know your area councils, because if you have a business, you go to your area councils regularly anyway when you're registering your business. You go to the tax offices, you go to these places, you're around these areas. So it will behoove you to actually get to know these things, and it will help you in the long run.
Yeah. I think that was well spoken. I don't really have much more to add to that point. So yeah, I think building local relationships is a good point to start on next, which you kind of just went into that with what you were saying. Building relationships with people will help you in the long run. Going out and meeting people, actually befriending someone, because it's very easy for you to collect, especially here in Gambia, being from anywhere else. It'll be very easy for people to throw themselves at you, almost like, oh, I want to be your friend. Oh, I want to help you do this, or I want to help you do that. And
smooth talkers.
Either way, though, you can have genuine people, or you can have people that are not as genuine when it comes to that. But you want to make sure that you're not being afraid to make those connections, because of the stigma that Gambia has for anybody that comes from outside of Gambia as being smooth talkers, right? Everybody here in Gambia is not a smooth talker, but some people are. And if you do encounter those people, this is real life. It's like you just got to have good discernment. But I'm just kind of pushing for, or my narrative for it, I want to put the energy out for the positive experiences that you'll have if you make local connections, and what that will really do for you, how it will open your eyes. You'll start to be invited to different birthday parties, different weddings, different cultural events. Potentially they might start trying to teach you the language, or even have your back.
Try to teach you the language.
Yeah, or even have your back in certain situations where somebody might try to be either harming you, or just like trying to get an extra couple Dalasi out of you. But either way it goes, I definitely want to push for getting out of the house, making local connections, and being true to those local connections, meaning like actually be friends with them. Yeah. Don't just use them.
And that translates into your business, because it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And if we had came here last October when we first arrived here on the 1st, if we had came here and we just said, you know what, we don't want to be around anybody. We don't want to eat at any of these restaurants. We don't want to eat with any of this local food. We want to just stay in our house and do us. If we had did that, we would know no one. We would have very few connections. When it comes to starting the businesses that we start and the things that we do, we wouldn't have been able to go 10% of what we've been able to do in the time frame that we've done it. And that translates directly into your business. Now, you're more ingrained in the community. You know the painters' prices, the iron benders, the carpenters, the electricians, the welders. You know how to operate with them. And like she was saying, if you start to learn a little bit of the language, Maiku, Nakala, there's different words that you can say that's simple greetings that in different languages, very simple, that can get you through the door, that can make that price lower for you or higher for you if you don't know these things. Because we've had situations where, we were helping out a friend. They had to get some equipment fixed. And luckily, I had a local friend that went with them, and they were able to get the price lower to get that equipment fixed that they needed. So she can, actually get what she needed to get done on her land. So these are connections that you get not from what you know, but from who you know. And in your business here, it means everything. It means more customers, because now the locals know that, oh, you really love the people. You really are ingrained in the community. We have another friend on the opposite spectrum, right? He has a great business in one of the areas here, and he actually helps the school. He helps the community. So recently, somebody was trying to take his water pump from his thing, and the community came together and stopped the person from taking the pump. They held him there, the person there, until the police came and took the person. So this is what ingraining yourself in the community does. He has community protection. The community is coming to protect him besides his cameras, besides the person that's in his store. So these are the things that we need to really think about, ingraining ourselves, becoming a part of the community, not just saying, oh, I'm a UK person, I'm an American person, I just live in Gambia.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing to think about when you're considering doing business in Gambia is your logistics, and specifically transportation, and I want to say transportation and where you actually put your business. So, if at all possible, before you start to do your business, just get on the ground. You know, walk around places that you might want to put your business. And I mean, walk around, like get out there, look at the area, look at the traffic, look at who's coming through that traffic versus the kind of traffic that you're trying to pull. Of course, you have to always think about your finances, but just if you can get out here, get on the ground, and just walk around and see the potential areas that your business, where you would like your business to be, and then even other areas where you could draw, business from that area to where you are. So just get on the ground, and then of course transportation in a literal sense, meaning think about what your business is versus, are you going to need a van? Are you going to need a bus? Are you going to need any kind of vehicle to operate your business? Or can you start your business without some kind of transportation? So
there's a lot that goes into the transportation part of Gambia, because Gambia has a rainy season, and in that rainy season, the transportation that you have is so important. And a lot of things that we do here in Gambia are utility. Very few times are we doing things to make a luxury ride somewhere, taking a trip through the provinces and doing all that type of stuff where you have to have a certain level of vehicle. Here, just like in Asia, just like in India, is primarily motorcycles. Here, people use motorcycles, okay? It's not that difficult to ride. You might be a little bit scared of it at first, but motorcycles are very easy to learn how to ride. My wife knows. She took a couple spills on them, but she knows how to ride them. So that's the most gas friendly and road friendly, because there's a lot of dirt roads, right? Rainy season, there's a lot of places you can't navigate because the water is deep or the water's flowing here and there. So that's something you consider, especially if you have a business, because you want to get to your business year round. You want to be able to get there and not worry about your electric SUV that's, a lot of electric parts getting spoiled in the rain, or the transmission going out, or the brakes going out, or the wheels flying off. Stuff that we went through. So trust me, we're speaking from experience on this one. Your transportation is very important. Now, secondly, from that, of course, a four-wheel drive vehicle is the most important besides a motorcycle, if you want to get around year round. You want to be able to put it in four-wheel drive and get through those puddles. But that's a pickup truck, which is good for utility, because if you have certain construction businesses, or even if you're hauling beauty supplies or clothing and stuff like that in large quantities, you would need something that can have a lot of capacity, a lot of space to carry that stuff. So you definitely want to have a type of pickup, four-door with a pickup in the back, a flatbed in the back, or a motorcycle, or they have these three-wheeled vehicles here that are very nice. They take a lot of equipment and it's run off of a motorcycle. So it's low gas, and you can take a lot of equipment anywhere in the Gambia that you need to go. So you really want to think about the vehicles that you invest in initially, because in the long run, you can be paying a lot of mechanical fees, and mechanics aren't that great. Not yet, but they're getting better. You're going to be paying a lot of car fees, as far as getting the licenses and going through the stops and them trying to get, it's just a lot to consider when it comes to transportation. And especially, like she said, as far as location goes, transportation is better if you're close to your business, right? Our first project, the house that we first built, it didn't take us no time to get to that site, literally 2 seconds. But if you live somewhere and it takes you 30 minutes to get to the road, and then another 30 minutes to get to that work site, now you're gauging time, you're balancing different things, you might be behind, there's a lot of stresses that might come with that. So you definitely want to live closer to the highway if you can. And then your business-wise, like she said, the hot spots. You got Senegambia, Brikama, Tangi. Sanyang is growing because there's a new seaport in Sanyang. So if you have business in Sanyang area, it's growing rapidly. Jambanjelly, up and down Jambanjelly towards Sakuda traffic light. It's a straight shot. That whole strip is growing right now. There's a lot of businesses. So your area is very, very important. Or like she said, if you're able to pull traffic to where you are, there's a lot of places here that don't have markets, that don't have clinics, that don't have internet service, that don't have these certain things that you can bring to that location, and now it becomes a hotspot. So those are definitely things to consider when it comes to transportation and location.
Yeah. I think Yeah, I mean, I feel like you said, I can't think of anything else to add on to that right now. But next, I would say sustainability is going to be another thing that you want to consider when trying to start your business in Gambia or even grow your business in Gambia. Just sustainability. What are you doing that's going to last the next 50 to 100 to 200 to 300 years? You know, what is something that is actually going to impact a community, or what is something that's actually going to impact you as well, as far as your business, to where you're able to grow and grow and grow. I think a lot of us have great business ideas, but we don't look too far ahead of that business. We're like, okay, this is good, this is working, or this isn't good, this isn't working, and we don't think about if it is working, if it's going good. You're living your life, you're here, you're there, but you're not pushing your business. Yes. You know, you're not pushing your business, or is your business not able to grow at a rapid rate because of whatever it is that you decided to do. So definitely consider or think about how sustainable your business is. Is it going to be impactful as a business and to the community?
And that goes back to when I was speaking about Ghana, and I was saying how they have a lot of diasporas there that have good businesses, and the government has noticed that, and that's granted them allowances that other diasporas in other countries don't have. And that's something that we can have here in Gambia. Gambia is the smallest country in West Africa, in Africa, period, right? Gambia GDP isn't that great. It's backed by groundnuts at the moment. But there's so many different industries that you can get into here that the government needs. Agriculture, construction, which is real estate, healthcare, education, manufacturing. There's all of these industries here gives weight to the diasporas. It gives us more of a push. It gives us more of a reason for them to take us seriously. And those things that I said, like I said, real estate, healthcare, there's sectors in there. It's not just, okay, healthcare, what does that mean? That's nothing. You're telling me nothing. Of course, there's other things. There's pharmacies, there's clinics, there's hospitals, and we have some diasporas here that have hospitals, that have schools. So we're growing those industries. So what I'm saying is we need to come here and do more of that. We need to come here and get into those pillars of industry here that will really move the needle for the entire diaspora community. Because that's what it's about. All ships rise with the tide. That's our motto for our channel. We need to do those big things that make us all rise. Just like our mindset with the real estate company, the tiny house business. Our mindset is, if we can lower the cost of entry into having a house here, not just for the locals, but for people coming abroad, then more people will come. And not just more people, more young people, because right now there's not that many young people that have repatriated here to the Gambia. There's not that many of us. So we need to grow those numbers, and that adds fire, that adds more business ideas, that adds more longevity in those businesses realistically. So, those are things that we really need to think about. Why are we having these businesses here, and what are we getting out of these businesses collectively?
Yeah. And I feel like this is so off course, but just when you was just talking about us coming over here, making businesses as a diaspora, unity is something that is very hard for us to grasp as an African, coming from the West, right? Because we've met people that are not African American that we've seen that are having a hard time unifying. So just unity as far as the business side of the diasporas go is something that we have to figure out. It's something that we don't have the answers to. It's something that one person, I feel like, as an individual, doesn't have the answer to. But once we are able to really start coming together as groups of businesses, not groups of individuals anymore, then that's when we'll actually start to show a force for ourselves as the diaspora, and then for Gambia in total, because we are here in Gambia. So we will be affecting the GDP if we're doing it right,
Absolutely.
So I definitely would say that I just was thinking about that. So
Yeah, that's definitely important in business. Unity forms unions, and those unions have weight in governments. So definitely, the diaspora community, we need to have our own union, our own, and not just union as far as like the governmental body, like the business that we can form together, the organizational structure we can form together. But like how the American has American embassy, we need to have our own diasporan embassy where you can come in. There's a directory. You can see what businesses are vetted by other diasporans. You know, plumber, electrician, all these people that can help you. And that's what we really need to, again, like she was just saying, that pushes us so much farther. Because right now we're just islands floating about, floating away from each other. But we need to come together, form a continent, and really have a structural body that will give us weight, that will give us power. So unity is everything here. And I've even heard conversations, some people saying, oh, I would be here, but the diasporas are united. You know, I would stay here, but the diasporas are united. And you can't be mad at them because it's true. You know, we're not as united as we could be. And strength in business, strength in numbers, and a strength in unity.
Right. So just think about it, you know. Like I said, I want to know actually in the comments what does that look like to you? What would business unity look like to you?
Yeah, what would business unity look like? Also, speak on, you know, like I was saying about the pillars in the government that they see and respect from us as business wise: education, manufacturing, healthcare, real estate, agriculture. Out of those 5 things that I just said, which one do you think you would be interested in getting into, and what facet of it? You know, because like I said, on the surface, it just looks like some words, but each one of those things have different industries inside of them. So what do you think that you would be able to add to the Gambia?
Right. It's crazy. But you know, everything that we're saying, we're very idealistic people. I think we're the most optimistic people. Some of the most, because I've met people here that are way more optimistic than me, which is insane. So
oh yeah, we done seen some spirits, you know, walking around.
I think that we are very optimistic people, and so that we have this way of thinking. But we come here and we met a lot of people that we would probably never want to interact with again. So it's very easy for us to stay separated. You know, it's very easy for us to keep our distance. It's very easy for us to walk away from situations, and we have to, because we're all coming over here with some kind of damage. And the longer you're in the West and it takes you to get out, the more damage you're going to have. Mm-hmm. So we have to take account of today as well and say, what is something bigger? It's almost like a marriage, right? What is something bigger? What's the bigger picture that will allow you and your mental to continue to work with this group of people if they have not, you know, just completely, I'm not saying just do business with people that's robbing you and stuff like that, but if you guys are just, I guess, at odds for some reason, or if you don't like that person's personality, or you don't like something that the person said, just try your best to see the forest and not the tree, because these are the reasons why now we are not coming together as businesses, is because we're still thinking, and we still are, but we're still thinking on an individual level, and we're not thinking on a community level.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we're going to round this up. We're going to end this soon. I feel like we definitely need to touch on overcoming challenges before we end this conversation, because that's very important. It's a very important message that
yes. Now, there's a statistic, and I think it's a little bit higher than the number that I'm saying, but more than 60% of businesses that start fail. So you're going to have challenges, and it takes more than 2 years usually for businesses to see profit from their initial investments. So just keep that in mind when you're starting a business anywhere. This is not just for Gambia. So it's not easy. You're going to have struggle. You're going to have stress. You're going to have strain. And that's why our first topic is the most important one, having passion. Because having passion behind what you're doing is going to keep you going through that struggle, through that stress, through that strain, through the hard times. You're going to think about, why am I doing this? Oh, I remember when I was a kid and I started doing this. And so it's going to keep you going through that until you get to that level, that breakthrough level. There's always that breakthrough point where your business becomes autonomous and is rolling like a well-oiled machine, and you're working now, you're sitting back more just getting updates on what's going on. So those struggles are going to happen. Those struggles are here in the Gambia. Gambia is developing. So it has a lot of struggles when it comes to, for me personally, dealing with this real estate business. The most struggles that I've seen are more so logistics and labor. Logistics and labor, logistics and labor, logistics and labor. That's what people might tell you about before you come here. Like the labor, be careful, labor, the people, the workers, But it's true. So you got to make sure that you have your structure really, really down packed for that. That's going to be one of your biggest struggles, no matter what industry you're in here. But you work through that. You have the things in place. You listen to other people giving you advice on how to deal with those situations, and you come out on the other side faster, or maybe not even having to go through it at all. So definitely, when you think about the struggles here or anywhere, you want to do your research.
Yeah, I think overcoming challenges is something that you're always going to have when it comes to your business, no matter where you are. Mm-hmm. And overcoming challenges, I think that you just really need to consider staying in a positive mindset throughout all the challenges that you're going to face. Is going to help you to be able to not be overwhelmed by any issues. I want to say as well, being organized. I think being positive, staying positive, being organized, remembering the mission. These three key factors are going to allow you to overcome any challenge that you ever have in your life, right? So, but specifically business, I would say being positive, believing in your business, being organized, which also supports believing in your business, because now you're able to defend yourself. And then remember the mission is just key. It goes back to your passion. Remember why you started. Remember your why.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you guys for watching today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. Should have said that earlier in the video, but I'll have a banner. And make sure you watch our older videos too, our series, our Building the Tiny Houses. We have another playlist where we have relationship advice, young melanated marriage. So we have a lot of different content for you guys. And I know we need to make our update video in our first year, which was October 1st, it just passed. That was our first year. So we're gonna make an update video for you guys and a lot more videos too. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the comments. Bye. Bye.